Good day. Welcome to News Now on TV360. I'm Thelma Okoro. At least 8 people, including 5 suicide bombers, have been killed in multiple explosions in Maiduguri, the Borno state capital. A series of bomb blasts occurred in 3 locations around Mono Garage, an area of Maiduguri metropolis. At least 20 others were also injured in the blasts, which occurred at about 4 a.m. on Wednesday. The attack becomes the latest in a series of bomb attacks in Maiduguri in the past 1 month. Nigeria's secret police, the Department of State Services, says it has arrested several Boko Haram, including a top commander of the sect, in various raids across the country. A statement from the DSS says the first suspect, Adeniyi Abdulsalam, was arrested in Ado-Ekiti, the Ekiti state capital, by a joint military and DSS operation. The statement also says Abdulsalam was on the final stages of kidnapping some high-profile targets in Ekiti state to raise funds for the sect. Prior to his arrest, several other Boko Haram suspects have been apprehended in various parts of northern Nigeria, especially Bauchi, Yobe, Gombe, Nasarawa, Kaduna, and Kogi state. The Nigerian Senate has demanded the resignation of the Comptroller General of the Nigerian Customs Service, Hamid Ali. This follows his refusal to appear before the House on Wednesday. The Senate had rejected his earlier appearance last Thursday for failing to wear his custom uniform as directed by the Nigerian lawmakers. He was then ordered to appear before the Senate on Wednesday morning, but failed to show up. In a letter sent through the Attorney General of the Federation, Ali said he couldn't appear before the Senate owing to a pending court case on the matter. The United Nations Refugee Agency says it is concerned about Cameroon forcing thousands of refugees to return to northeast Nigeria, an area struggling with insurgency and facing a potential famine. A UN spokesman told a press briefing that the agency was particularly concerned that more than 2,600 refugees, many of them who had fled militant group Boko Haram, had been sent back to Nigerian border villages since the start of the year. Boko Haram has killed over 20,000 people and displaced over 2 million others in Nigeria since 2009. As the world celebrates the 2017 World Water Day, residents in Lagos are calling on the state government to make potable water accessible to them. They say this will help reduce the huge amount of money they spend in buying water in the state and also check the spread of waterborne diseases. Now, to drive home their demands, they held a protest marching through the streets of Lagos to the governor's office. Our correspondent, Endurance Alongena, reports.
The World Health Organization says 3.4 million people, mostly children, die annually from water-related diseases. And 80% of these diseases are attributed to lack of access to potable water. The access to potable drinking water, they say, is the right of every citizen of a nation. While nations across the world are celebrating the World Water Day today, right here in Lagos, Nigeria, the people are gathering for a protest march to the state government house to decry the scarcity of potable drinking water and also oppose the public-private partnership solution for solving the problem of water scarcity in Lagos, as put forward by the Lagos state government.
Today, we stand as one to say no to privatization of water. We stand together to say water is not for sale in Lagos State. We stand together to say water is not for sale, and we will resist all efforts to make it so.
The protest, which begins at the Ikeja Local Government Secretariat, is led by various civil society groups and labor activists, with placards demanding that the Lagos State House of Assembly reject a recommendation in the 2017 budget proposal which explicitly suggests public-private partnership as the arrangement to improve the water sector in the state. After 2 hours, they arrive at the government house Alausa, but are stopped by heavily armed security men barricading the road and blocking access to the governor's office. Refusing to be intimidated, the protesters demand to see the governor to lodge their complaints. It will take the intervention of the Commissioner of Environment to calm the agitated crowd. He then listens to their demands.
We are using today to say thank you for those revisions and to again now restate that it is not over yet, that we still strongly believe that PPP is not the silver bullet that will solve Lagos water crisis. We have outlined 14-point agenda, some for immediate action and for long-term action.
About all you said about water, we want you to know that this government cares for you and care for the water needs of these people of this state. Going PPP, we are not privatizing water. It is not privatization. We are not selling water properties. We are not giving our properties to those people. What they are doing is they will go and they will source for money, come and build water treatment plant for us, and we pay some amount of money for the water. I can tell you what they are going to bill you is less than what the Meshara man is billing you. We are always going to go into this project with you in our mind, with you being highly favored. We are not going to do anything that will hamper your existence in Lagos as Lagos citizens.
The models upon which the public-private partnership is based, according to the civil groups, has failed to uphold the human right to water, and as such, it should be done away with. They say the access to potable drinking water is the right of every Nigerian, and as such, they will continue to oppose any contradicting moves by the government. Flourish Alonge, TV360, Lagos.
Nigeria's President Muhammad Buhari has ordered security operatives to open investigations into the increasing attacks and killings in the country. The president, in a statement, also sympathized with the victims of an attack by suspected herdsmen in Zaki Biam, Benue State. As a result of the president's directive, Police Chief Ibrahim Idris has deployed a special force to the area to ensure peace and security. The Nigerian government says 429 billion naira has been distributed to the federal, state and local government as revenue collected for the month of February. Minister of Finance Kemi Adeosun disclosed this when she briefed newsmen on the outcome of the Federal Allocation Committee meeting held in Abuja, the nation's capital.
The net statutory allocation is 246.390, distributed as follows. Federal government 117.581, state governments 59.639, local governments 23.191. Then VAT, the total amount collected 69.207, less cost of collection of 2.768, leaving a net of 66.439 million, and it's distributed as follows. Federal government 9.966, state governments 33.219, and local governments 23.254. So the grand summary is as follows. Statutory 258.692, VAT 69.207, total distributable 327.899 billion, to which we added an exchange gain of 40.329 and PPT distribution of 60.899. So the grand total being distributed today is 429.127 billion naira. The excess balance on the excess crude account, $2.460 billion. And the NNPC refund to the federal government is 6.33 billion.
The Nigerian Union in South Africa says 5 Nigerians have been attacked in Polokwane in renewed xenophobic attacks. Colin Ngbo, an official of the union in the province, told newsmen that 3 of the 5 Nigerians attacked were in critical condition in the hospital. Ngbo urged the Nigerian government to persuade its South African counterpart to ensure the safety of Nigerians in the country. Plateau's Housing and Urban Development Commissioner Samuel Galadima is dead. He slumped while jogging on Wednesday morning with Governor Simon Lalong in the Ruang Palm Stadium in Jos. Galadima was rushed to the Plateau Specialist Hospital where he was confirmed dead by authorities. Meanwhile, authorities are yet to release the cause of his death. Nigeria has given contractors 30 days to resume delayed development projects in the Niger Delta oil-rich region or face prosecution. The government has been trying to build new roads and launch other projects to drag the region out of poverty and create jobs. The government believes in doing this, it will give the locals an alternative to joining the militants attacking oil facilities. Now, in a statement, the presidency also ordered the Ministry of Environment to ensure progress of a cleanup of oil spills in the Ogoni land area, a project that has been delayed for several years. The Nigerian army has denied the allegation that soldiers killed 17 cattle breeders in southern Kaduna. The army has also warned herdsmen not to drag it into any of its propaganda. Haruna Usman, the chairman of the Kaduna State chapter of the Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria, had alleged that the attack happened in Daile Al-Kariyo village in Jama local government area of Kaduna State on Monday. But the army has now denied the allegations, describing it as untrue.
Corruption not in my country.
What is wrong with Kilo man saying no? Tell them I drove for more than 1 hour.
Ìyá mi, ọ̀rọ̀ yín náà ni mò ń ṣe. Ọ̀rọ̀ yín náà ni mò ń ṣe. Ká kúrò fún Ọlọ́run. Ká satisfy yín níbi ọ̀rọ̀ yín náà ni mò ń ṣe.
Ẹ wo jẹ́ ká lọ jàre ká kúrò nbí báyìí.
Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ má bínú. Hello ọ̀gá. Màá dọ́dọ̀ yín lẹ́sẹ̀ yín. I am assure you 5 minutes. Màá dọ́dọ̀ yín. Ẹ gbà bẹ́ẹ̀.
You are deceiving another customer just like you deceived us.
The same way he deceived us.
Eh? Why?
Ètò ni iṣẹ́ yìí. Bó o bá kúrò ò lè jẹun, ò lè jẹun. Bó o bá kúrò ò lè jẹun ìyá mi. Bó o bá kúrò ò lè jẹun. Workshop mi leléyìí. Ibi tí èèyàn bá ti ń ṣe ló ti ń jẹ. Ìyẹn ló ń pè ní workshop. Ibi tó bá ti ń work ni kó má ti shop.
You cannot base your business on lies. Koda now, it is corruption and it cannot work. Not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
Welcome back. It's now time for business news with Fidelia.
Thanks, Thelma. The Nigerian Naira firmed 1.1% on the black market on Wednesday to a 6-month high of 4.05 against the US dollar. The currency was quoted at 3.07 on the interbank markets. This comes days after the Central Bank of Nigeria's Monetary Policy Committee decided to retain the country's benchmark interest rate at 14%. The MPC says its decision was based on the country's decreasing inflation rate.
Members welcomed the improved implementation of the foreign exchange policy that resulted in the Naira's recent appreciation. Similarly, the committee expressed satisfaction on the release of the Economic Recovery and Growth Plan and urged its speedy implementation with clear timelines and deliverables. On the strength of these developments, the committee felt inclined to maintain a hold on all policy parameters. Nevertheless, the committee noted the arguments for tightening policy, which remained strong and persuasive. However, the counterfactual arguments against loosening was anchored on the upward trending month-on-month inflation and its impact on the exchange rate. Loosening will thus worsen the already negative real interest rate, widen the interest rate spread, and reverse the positive outlook for the current account position. The MPC, however, noted that loosening will exacerbate inflationary pressures worsen exchange rate and further pull the real interest rate into negative territory. Since interest rates are sticky downwards, loosening may not necessarily transmit into lower retail lending rates.
The Apex Bank also maintained that it would continue to intervene in the foreign exchange market, adding that it's pleased with the positives the intervention have yielded so far in the market.
We've seen the rates now converging, and we are strongly optimistic, very, very optimistic, that the rates will converge further. In terms of sustainability, I think it's important for us to say that reserves at this time still trending upwards to almost close to $31 billion as I speak with you. And the fact that we have done this consistently for 4 to 5 weeks should tell everybody, or those who doubt the strength of central bank to sustain this policy, for me to say that they are taking a risk and they will lose in this bid to want to place a wrong bet on the direction that we are going.
The Nigerian government says it has developed an international public service accounting standard compliance software suite. The software, known as One Book, is basically aimed at enhancing efficiency, accountability and transparency across all levels of government. The book was launched by the Minister of Finance, Kemi Adeosun, in Abuja, the nation's capital city.
I think it's an excellent innovation, and I'm very proud to be part of it. Now, the benefits, of course, are what the consultant outlined. Issues of how much a state owes will no longer be in dispute. Issues of how much a state has in terms of assets will no longer be in dispute. But the real advantage for us as accountants and as managers of the economy is the ability to train, cross-training between states, different accountant generals, comparing notes, benchmarking, because everybody's accounts will look the same and should be prepared on a similar basis, and it will really assist us. It will make us much more creditworthy and credible to international donors, and for those who are looking to raise money internationally, having IPSAS compliant accounts is essential. So I think it's a great example of joined up thinking between the federal government, state governments and the local governments at a time when resources are quite lean. There is a need to save money, and I think we believe this particular software solution will save considerable money for the states.
Well, that's all on business. More stories coming up. Don't go away.
Corruption not in my country.
That was a very good business. Yeah. The furniture you brought was very perfect.
That's how we roll.
Because then let me do you receipts.
Yeah. How much was it again?
1 million naira.
Okay, write 2.5.
Mbano. The deal was for 1 million naira now.
Okay, write 3 million. I'll give you 500.
Oh no! I just do business like that now. Yeah.
Hey, that can give me back my check. Let me go and look for someone that understand business.
Take.
Your loss.
It is only for incorruptible customers. What are you talking?
Now get out.
What kind of this?
You will just die.
No,
you will die.
That is the door. Now get out from here.
Rubbish.
Look, my people, make not really add money for original invoice price. That's not corruption. Say no, not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
Welcome back. Zimbabwe's police deployed water cannon and anti-riot officers on the streets of the capital on Wednesday morning ahead of a planned demonstration by opposition parties against changes to the voter registration process. Opposition parties united under a national election reform agenda are campaigning against a government decision to take over the purchase of biometric voter registration kits from the United Nations. They fear this will make it easier for President Robert Mugabe's ruling party to spin the list of eligible voters in its favor. Zimbabwe is due to hold its next presidential and parliamentary election by July 2018. At least 33 people have been killed in an airstrike on a school in a village west of the Islamic State-held Syrian city of Raqqa. The Syrian Observatory for Human Rights says the building in Al-Mansoura was being used as a shelter for displaced people when it was hit on Monday night. An activist group says the fate of 50 families taking refuge in the school before it was bombed remains unknown. Both groups believe the raid was carried out by US-led coalition jets. Nigeria's Super Eagles have stepped up preparations ahead of its double friendly matches against Senegal and Burkina Faso. The team will play Senegal on Thursday before facing Burkina Faso on Monday. Both games will take place at the Hive, home ground of Barnet Football Club. The Eagles will use the match as preparation for the 2019 African Cup of Nations qualifiers and 2018 World Cup qualifiers. Paris and American city Los Angeles have both ruled out the possibility of bidding to host the 2028 Olympic Games. Both cities are the only cities bidding to host the 2024 Olympic Games. However, IOC Chief Thomas Bach had last week hinted that the IOC could award the 2024 Olympics to one city and the 2028 Olympics to the losing city. However, in separate statement, both cities have said they have no plans of bidding to host the 2028 Olympic Games. 2014 400-meter hurdles Commonwealth Games champion Khaleesi Spencer has been charged by the Jamaican Athletics Association with breaking anti-doping laws. The charges relate to her failure to disclose her whereabouts and refusing to submit her sample collection. She was charged alongside another athlete, Raika Houghton. According to World Anti-Doping Agency regulations, both athletes now face a maximum of a 4-year suspension from the sport. Well, that's it on News Now. Thank you very much for watching. I'm Thelma Okoro.